All right, so our claim to fame is we pay claims. And honestly, this company is getting better and better and better 2-3 days. And that's not the first time. We've probably heard about 10 times over the last couple of weeks. When they want to get going on these things, it just starts to move. There's no company that can, it doesn't matter if somebody creates the exact same policy as what we have, they will not pay the claims as fast. Because you have to build up for years to have that, to have the system for it, the mindset for it, and to even understand that you want to pay claims. Most insurance companies are like, what? No. They forgot the period at the end of that. Get it out of here, right? Here they're like, well, that's just Dan. He always forgets the periods, right? Okay. That's awesome. All right, so first one up here, I believe, is the wonderful Maggie Lamb. Let's give it up for Maggie Lamb here. So take it away, Maggie Lamb. 8,000 APV, 17 points. Give it up for Maggie Lamb.
Okay, so actually in March, I'm helping facilitate 5 claims. So this is one of it. Is my girlfriend, and she don't even know she can make a claim. So she's just walking a dog, but she is a cook, so meaning she have to stand all the time. And also her money is not that much as a self-employed. So this is a great example for anybody and everybody. So do you know anybody who like to go for a walk, the dog, or just go for a walk? So luckily, my girlfriend, this plant-based cook and trip, booked 2 tours while walking a dog, and have our accident hospital program get out $2,450. Now, can you see how important our program are pretty much for everyone? Now, do you think that extra $2,450 could help in this situation? Actually, she was stressed out to pay her rent. So this definitely helped her for that too. So you're gonna get this better than anybody.
Yeah, let's give it up to Maggie Lamb. This is crazy. We're going for walking for a dog. Somebody breaks a couple of toes and $2,450 taken care of. Again, we protect lifestyle, not just at work. Because this could have happened. This is walking a dog. So does anybody know that anybody that walks dogs, that loves dogs? This is one to show all the time. All the time. All right, so let's come back in 2 minutes and let's practice this one all the time. We'll see you back in 2 minutes. All right, welcome back. Turn your neighbor, give him a high five and say, I love puppies. And thank you, Maggie Lamb. All right, so great job. Again, fantastic. And this is what's really crucial is when we're going through the Form IQ, or you're talking to people and you find out that they have a dog. This is massive because people love their dogs. So when you say, oh my goodness, what type of dog do you have? How, like, you go into the 3rd degree and then you got to show the photo because for some reason, they'll picture their dog like that. They'll picture them going for themselves for a walk. People are visual, but they got to see this because you can't just say it because they might it kind of goes off. But as soon as they see this, that's why you have these on your phone at all times. Like you're walking at the park, right? The dog park. Hey, like what is going on, guys? What business you can talk to anybody, anytime and make like $2,450? Like there's no one that doesn't love their dog. And somehow you could put that on them. All right, guys, so that's a great one. Let's give Maggie a huge round of applause. All right, next one we have the wonderful Janelle Anderson.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Sorry, my internet is not stable right now. So if I cut in and out, I do apologize for that. So do you know anyone who rides bikes or has kids that likes to ride bikes? Well, unfortunately, this little girl fell off her bike and she actually needed stitches. Thankfully, she has our accident hospitalization program and she was paid $975. So can you see how important our programs are, especially for active families? And do you think an extra $975 could help in this type of situation? Thank you. I hope that was okay.
Janelle, fantastic, Janelle. $975. It's bike season. This is what happens. This is like $975 for getting a stitch. How many kids have not probably got the stitches? Because they're like, just don't worry about it. We don't want to take you to the hospital. But for $975, it changes everything. I've got scars, from back in the day that I was thinking my dad was just like, that sounds like work, right? And now 975 reasons to go. Like this starts to shift and have some fun with it. But obviously, like we don't want anything to happen to anybody, but it does happen. And $1,000 come in their way is amazing. All right, so let's go to the breakout room for 2 minutes and say, great job, Janelle. All right, welcome back. Turn your neighbor, give him a high five and say, thank you, Janelle. Thank you, Fantastic. All right, so great job right across the board here. And again, these are stories that we want to be sharing. Like, there's just no, like, the rest of the company's not even doing what we're doing. I just want to let you guys know that they have no idea that we do this. They have no idea that we practice this. They don't go anywhere next to this level. It's like literally everybody wants to figure out what we're like. This is the extra stuff. We just got to put it into work. There's no reason why you can't just have this on your phone. Have 2 phones. I don't even care, right? Just going like this, showing people claim stories. There's nothing that's in our way. It's just here. You wanted the shot, you got the shot. And you're going to see from the video today, it's going to be about that because we have the greatest claim stories that's never been shown before in the history of the world. And no one's, because they used to be in farming communities and they're like, well, I just got, they're not going to share it. We're literally, these 2 claims here should turn into an extra 10 sales.
Nice.
The reason why they're not is because we're not running at this. We're not making a big deal that this is a big deal. $975. Randy, if your daughter fell off her bike and she got $975 and he probably pushed her, right? Pushed her too far, right? Come on, let's get these training wheels out of here, right? $975. He's rewarded for his effort, right? Okay, but this is like, you're gonna have some fun. Like, it should be blowing up your business and it should be like, you got $975. Don't think of it like, oh my goodness, you got $975. My job is done here. You're not customer service. We're out here to be like $975. You want to make a big deal. Why? Who else do you know that has kids? We got that one there is a beautiful one because it's so small and it's just something that is so relatable to everyone. And same with the dog one. So let's go out there and let's share this. Let's have some fun with this thing. Let's just go do something that's never been done before and take what the company gives to us and just do what our part is to make sure we can make my number 1. So let's come back at 9:55 here. We'll come back at 9:55. We'll have a nice little break. We'll see you guys just before 9:55. Great job. Thank you, Maggie Lamb and Janella. So great job, everybody. We'll see you back in 10 minutes or so. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Turn your neighbor, give him a high five and say, let's get this party started. All right, so let's have some fun today. So great job, everybody. You know, we're getting to the part where we get to review the book. So give yourselves a huge round of applause. 3 months to go through the book, and we're going to go through all these amazing things, the skill sets. We went above and beyond, and we're going to start to go through those. And at first, we're going to do a review. Now, the one thing I wanted to get to, does everybody read the end of the book? Yeah. Right, there's a few people. And did you learn something? Yeah. And what was the one thing that kind of stuck out that Mark said during the thing? Because when I took the course, they did this to me, so I got to do it here. What was the one thing that was in the back of the book? This will be, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you didn't read the end of the book. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Is he has no relation to Andrew Carnegie. Right? But I was like, he knows Carnegie. Look at the people he knows and all this kind of stuff. Because they did that to me. And I was like, yeah. And I've read they're like, how many times you read the book? I'm like, 5 times. And they're like, well, he's not. I'm like, oh, you didn't read the end of the book, did you? And I was like, oh, what a sick burn. Made me feel like whatever. But the idea was, I saw Abigail when I did say it, and she was like, But it was also at the same point to not criticize, condemn, and make somebody feel stupid. So passing marks right here for Abigail. Let's give her a huge round of applause. But the thing is that the guy literally changed his name to make it spell like that. And that's what markets a lot of people out there think that this is actually Andrew Carnegie's son. And he has nothing to do with it. He wrote a great book, and then he's kind of like this. He probably put himself in the mindset, but he literally changed the spelling of his name. And the cool thing about that is obviously don't criticize, right? But on top of it, it's sometimes it's just like the guy did that to go out there and do something. He got the greatest thing there by just changing a couple of letters. It gives it the clout of what it is, right? And that's what this book is about. Is like it's not because he was a father. Like this is a guy that just studied people and learned these things, because all these things that we're learning from the book are just common sense, right? He's not like, oh my goodness, yeah, okay, no, I knew to do that. I just didn't think of doing that in the presentation. And I just didn't maybe care enough to go out there and try and build my business with using skill sets like that. Because we all know when you pick up the phone, you're like, hey, how's it going? Whoever's on the other line's like, hey, how's it going? Right? That right there is $1 million like tool. But yet some days we'll just be making the phone calls, right? And like, hey, what's up? And you know that's not going to get it, right? Well, you know if you want something, that's all it is. And Savannah said it the best. It's our attitude. It's a choice. If you want something, you'll go get it. Right? If let's say you're calling, I don't know, some type of, you have to owe somebody money on the bank. You know you're going to be nice to them, right? Let's say you owe them a couple bucks, right? You're like, hey, how's it going? You know to do that. Every human being knows to do that, right? Because we want something. So why aren't we treating every single person we talk to like an opportunity?
Yeah.
Because right in our back pocket, we have things that we pay for people for dog walking, right? Because there's pet insurance. You know, people get excited about pet insurance, but who protects them? I've seen people, those shoulders are getting popped out left, right, and center, right? It does these things. So we got to understand what we have here is a different shift. And when you're going out there and sharing this thing, that's why the financial house is so crucial, because you got to show what we're doing different. But to get out there and do that, we've got to make sure our conversations to book appointments. So the cool thing is we get to review. So we're going to go through each section, and you're just going to pick out your favorite thing. We're just going to do some talks at the beginning. Then we're going to get into conversations to book appointments, so we can kind of get it going back in our brain here. So the very first part, and here's the fundamental techniques in handling people. And what are the three things? Yes, Stacy in the back, fantastic. Principle 1, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. We know this one. How hard is this one? Very time, borderline impossible, right? It's one of those things that's right at the beginning. Why? Because it's one of those things because you'll have a better life by not doing this, right? Because we all are kind of taught in this world to point fingers at every single person for whatever reason why things are not working. And we all know deep down inside what the whole book's really about. It's just about us. If you don't like something, it's just because you don't like what's going on in your life, right? That's all it is. There's just no reasons why you'd be like, oh, that's because of this. No, it's because you're not happy here. So we have to understand that if we don't criticize, condemn, or complain, it doesn't show up in anywhere in our life. And that's really cool. Principle 2 is give honest and sincere appreciation. Why not, right? Every single person out there likes to feel great. And don't we like honest appreciation, right? You want to be told you look good when you look like crap. You know when you look like crap, right? Somebody's like, Mark, you look great. I'm like, listen, I've put on 20 pounds. I understand. The scale's telling me the truth, right? Give honest and sincere appreciation. You want to be treated like that way. You don't want to just have its fake flattery and all that kind of stuff. And principle 3, arouse in the other person an eager want. This is one of the most beautiful thing about what we do in our conversations to book appointments and our appointment. The reason why we have the why statement is to do this. It's just to create an eager want of what we have. Now, the real truth to it is just going out there and being the best version of yourself. People will be attracted to it. And that's all it is. When you go to a networking event or whatever you're doing, and you just be the star that you are, fantastic saying there, the star that you are, it will shine through, right? And we just got to know that these are the 3 things every single day. So if you woke up every single day just looking at those 3 things, it could just make your whole day better. And if you want things out of life, you just have to arouse the other person to that's the whole thing. It's just energy. Somebody comes up to you and goes, no, I don't want to hear you. They have more energy. That's it. No, what do you so how do we combat that? You got to come at them and don't even have to worry about that. You're coming. That's why we have the why statement that says, I didn't even like insurance, because now you just flip them from here to here. Now they have nothing they can say. You just shifted the whole thing right then and there. We took the energy of this negative, this thing about insurance that's negative, and we just went like this. Perfect. Let's turn it this way. And then you run all these positive things. And that's why the why statement, and again, if you're not using it, I'm just going to say it, you're crazy. You're a crazy person, because that why statement has so much science in it that it'll shift it around. But Mark, I'm just doing great right now. Promise you, Debbie, Janelle, Ginny are doing that. Want to make that kind of stuff? We got to start moving in that direction. All right. So the fundamentals. We want to just go to the breakout rooms for 2 minutes, or maybe get into groups of like 5 or 6 and just shift around and be like, how these certain things have shown up for you in the last 3 months and what you love about it and how it's worked on the presentation. Any type of share, just go for 2 minutes here, just on these 3 here. Then we're going to go through the next ones really quickly. So we'll take 2 minutes here, just talk about how these things have shown up and how much you've got better with them. We'll see you back in 2. All right, welcome back, welcome back. Turn your neighbor, give him a high five and say the eager wants. All right. So these 3 are just the absolute fundamentals of all this, of just honestly everything, just not even just in business, but just in life. If you don't do this one, and then this is the real sales one. It's like if you're sitting across from somebody and you have the eager want, that's how you do this thing. And it can be just based off enthusiasm. And when we say, oh, you don't believe in this, you're just like, you got to believe in yourself to believe in the company. That's what it's saying. It says when you're sitting across from somebody and you're not even willing to bring it up, and you've sat down with this person 3 times and you've not shown them what this is. That's why. But this is what our job is. This is why we add value to Combine. And what Maggie's saying is all you have to do is listen, take notes of what they're saying, and then talk about how we have a solution. That's it. And just talk to as many people as possible. The person that shows us the most wins. Let's have some fun. All right, let's get to the second one here. Do some more breakout rooms. 6 ways to make people like you. What? All right. Should talk to me this in the school. So I'll open up that one. All right, principle 1, become genuinely interested in other people, right? That makes sense. You want people to be interested in you, be genuinely interested in them. It's foolproof, right? Number 2 is smile. What? Amazing. Principle 3, remember that person's name is to that person is the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Say their name, say their name, say their name. Be a good listener, encourage others to talk about themselves. This is a skill set. This is what sales really is. Ask them a question, let them talk. Ask them another question, let them talk, and they'll talk themselves right into an answer for us. Principle 5, talk in terms of the other person's interests, right? You don't want to just stop and like, well, no, it's not my favorite thing to do.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, you like going skiing? Well, I don't like skiing. You know how crazy it is, but I guarantee you it happens. I'm not a much big skiing person. Oh, we're not friends anymore, are we? Yeah. And we just have to say it. On my moral, I just can't. My knee, right? You're just like, come on, who cares? They don't need to know that. That's crazy talk. And principle 6, make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. Make them feel important right across the board. And how do you make them feel important? Ask to the 3rd degree. Ask that 2nd and that 3rd question. Make them feel really great about being a mechanic. Make them feel really great because no one's ever asked them 3 questions about being a mechanic. So why not ask them that 3rd question? These are skill sets that they don't even teach there. We're going the extra mile right across. All right, so 2 minutes here. Talk about which ones get into the same groups here. Talk about how these things have affected you. We're just going to go for quickly 2 minutes. We'll see you back in 2 minutes. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Turn to your neighbor, give them a high five and say, thank you very much. All right, so having some fun. 6 ways to make people like you. Again, this is in the group. And let's give Dynamite a huge round of applause. Yeah, thank you. She's put it all here. So now you can honestly print these off, put them in the room, and you're constantly just looking at this before you do a presentation. It just signifies, because again, if you're not thinking about that, we just go through the same motion, the same habit every single day. If you don't know how to brush your teeth, you're going to continue not to brush your teeth properly, right? You get the gums, right? Whatever. It's just, honestly, guys, it's just that kind of thing. You got to make sure that you're adding this. We're growing. We're getting better and better and better. All right, part 3, how to win people to your way of thinking, right? Woo! All right, so there's actually 12 of these puppies. So the only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. You never win. It just never wins, right? Yeah. Principle 2, show respect for other person's opinions. Never say you're wrong. Boom, you're wrong, right? Now, again, saying that somebody's doing something that is not important to you, that's also saying they're wrong. I don't ski. That's telling somebody that, why would you say that to me? Yeah. You ever hear that when somebody just says something, you're just like, yeah, why did you say that? That's that. Yeah. You don't have to say you're wrong to be saying you're wrong, right? When you're wrong, admit it quickly and empathetically. It's okay. This is a super secret. If you can do this quickly, all of a sudden now they're your friend. Anybody that don't do it sympathetic, poor me, like that, not like that. Just do it quickly and just making sure it's like, it's not a big deal. Hey, sorry, I totally forgot the times. I booked it this time here. I'm sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. Like, just say sorry. Don't just like, don't address the time. When people are like late to things and they don't say sorry, like, do you not know how that hurts people? Just a side note. Like, that's ridiculous. You're late. That means you don't care. Yeah. So that's what that means. So just admit it. Hey, I'm so sorry. Just say it, because it's just a nice way of being like, hey, sorry, I was a couple minutes late. You know what I mean? Because if you come late, it just means that person's not important. Because it was to meet Elon Musk or something like that, you're not going to be late. Nope. Principle 4, begin in a friendly way. Obviously, we all know that. Just say hi, how is it going? All friendly. Principle 5, get the other person saying yes, yes immediately, right? Socrates method, yes, 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 the whole entire time. That sounds like fun. Principle 6, let the other person do a great deal of the talking. As Abigail said, right, just let them talk, let them talk, let them talk. All right, 2 minutes here. Let's practice on this one. Let's figure out which ones you can really go to this or where you can really work on or anything like that. Just taken from there. We'll come back in 2 minutes. Thank you, Dynamite. All right, welcome back, welcome back. Turn to your neighbor, give him a high five and say, no more conflicts. All right, so again, these first 6 principles and pretty much all of them, and Dan hit it right on the head. The whole point of it is to avoid conflict at all costs. Get them saying yes, begin in a friendly way. Don't, when you're wrong, admit it quickly, right? These are all non-conflict things, correct? But for some reason, we've been taught, not by anybody really, told perfectly, we do the exact opposite with all these, right? We know not to do these, but we just do it. So the idea is, this is our whole sales process, is to avoid conflict. And that's why in the why statement, yet again, it says, have you ever had a bad experience? So if they have a bad experience and they're holding that inside and you're wondering, why are they just moody? It's because maybe they have a bad experience and you haven't addressed it. And if they come out and say, yeah, the premiums went up and it was crazy and I couldn't afford my car anymore, and perfect, our premiums never go up. It's the most beautiful. And if you don't know that, they could be holding that the whole time and they're battling you and you don't even know, because we didn't just ask the little question or just did the why statement. That's why that why statement is just boom, sets the whole tone for the whole thing. All right, so let's get to number 7. Let the other person feel that it's that their idea or the idea is his or hers, right? So we just got to make sure it's their idea. So how can we get them to start saying it, it's their idea, saying yes, yes, oh, you're right, I never thought of it that way. All these little things, you're like, oh, I'd get 4,200. Oh, you get this better than anyone. These are all phrases that turn it to their idea. Principle 8, try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Just a sign note for relationships, right? Just flip it, right? Why are they mad? There's got to be something I did wrong or something, right? So just putting ourselves in their shoes. Simple, simple, simple. And that's why this one here, no, you don't. The reason why we're not getting referrals is because we're not leaving them with things. The only thing that you want to leave them with referral is you get all your money back if you don't use it, and discounts, discounts, discounts. You don't want them talking. The reason they're not talking to their friends is because they're saying it's $300 a day. I don't really understand my insurance right now. And no one ever is going to be like, hey, listen, I have no idea what you just said to me. But you know what they're all thinking? I have no idea what you just said to me, but I feel safe, right? Be sympathetic to the other person's ideas and desires. We have to be a little bit sympathetic, right? Again, in our district, we have to understand we can be empathetic. We can't be like, we're all champions here. We're building a business here. Principle 10, appeal to the nobler motives. How is this one, right? You're a person that cares about your kids, right? No one's going to say no to that. You'd obviously do everything to protect them, right? Oh, you're going to love this. You get this better than anyone. Like, we appeal to that part, right? Principle 11, dramatize your ideas. Who loves this? What's the number one thing we can do to dramatize the discounts? The calculation, right? The calculations, doing that stuff. We did that a little while ago. That should boost this is what should happen. That's what should happen to sales. Don't tell me what to do, right? Come on, guys, let's get going here. Dramatize your ideas. Principle 12, throw down a challenge, right? Always throwing down a challenge to make sure people are, they can be there and moving forward, even just with the thank you program. Hey, this person got 3 in the last, the last week here. How many do you want to get? Just these little tiny things that you can just so challenge, because you never know who it clicks for. So let's go to the breakout rooms and practice and talk about the best ones that have been working for you, something you can work on and all that kind of stuff. We'll come back in 2 minutes. See you in 2. All right, welcome back, welcome back. Turn your neighbor, give him a high five and say, Grandma. Yes. Fantastic again, guys. So again, this is sales. This is going through all the little things that we're seeing out here. And again, this one here, it's so simple, but it's so foreign for some reason. Let's say you're like this. I want to get this to every single Canadian. Right? You can hear my voice. I'm full of it. Right? So if you're saying it like that, you'd be like, I want referrals. I love referrals. The reason why we don't get them yet, and next week we're going into referrals, is because you have to act like you need to get to every single person. Oh my goodness. You got 40% discount. Can you see why everybody needs this? Who else can you think on the top of the head has the same amount of kids? You have 3 kids. Do you know anybody that has 4? Do you have anybody that has 3? Do you hear that? Like, why am I doing that? Because I'm trying to grow the business. But if you're just like, oh yeah, do you know anybody at the very end? Because you know what that sounds like? I'm done my job for the week. Somebody makes a claim. Hey, you're getting $970. You got $975. That's amazing. Well, see, this company works. That's when we don't, your business doesn't blow up because you got a claim. That is what I'm hearing. It doesn't matter what anybody says. You're like, oh, Mark, I asked for referrals. No, you didn't. Because you asked whatever because we think we're asking for referrals by saying, hey, do you have any referrals? Yeah. That's not asking for referrals. It's a mindset. It's a whole presentation. I'm in this thing. We're going to the moon. Who's coming with me? And people feel that energy, right? Doesn't matter what's going on in the day. You just know this every single morning. You don't know if I'm upset or not. I'm coming and bringing the heat, right? Maybe get an extra rant in there. He's like, oh, he's pissed off with something, right? But there's something in there. I'm bringing the heat and having some fun, right? Hot beats get me through it. All right. So part 4, how to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. Principle 1, begin with praise and honest appreciation. Easy enough to do, right? Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly, right? We want to do it indirectly, right? Again, we talked about the kids. You don't tell the kid, hey, you suck at dodgeball, right? We just pick them last. Yeah. Let them self-discover a little bit, right? So we don't point out their flaws. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Ask questions. This is actually an incredible skill set. If you know that you have to do something, you just put blame on you. Just put the blame on you. Like, hey, I just learned, or this is what happened. I just found this out, right? And then you can talk to them because it's like, you've already kind of punished yourself a little bit, right? Ask questions instead of giving direct orders or make a recommendation. Let the other person save face, right? Do not put them on blast. If they, canceled on you or something like that, give them the out. And we're going to go through the actual part of that. Give them the out so that they can actually save face, because nobody wants to be pushed down, because then you'll never get that appointment. Principle 6, praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise, guys. This is amazing. Just again, the slightest improvement, talking about this. Hey, you get this better than anyone. Just finding those little things to get them excited. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to, right? Nice. Obvious things like that we'll talk about in a second. And then number 8, use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. Again, it's just like, hey, you didn't know about it. We got a solution for you today. Just little things like that. Make nothing too bad. Principle 9, make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest. And that's one of the trickiest, the easiest things to do is just being enthusiastic and talking about where we're going and that they're going to get the benefits from it. And it all starts to go in the right direction. So let's go take this one for 2 minutes here. Just talk about the best ones and what ones you need to work on. We'll come back in 2 minutes. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Turn to your neighbor, give him a high five and say, I love it. All right, give yourselves a huge round of applause, guys. So now these are they're in the book. I mean, now you have them as a slide that you can go. So now you have it all here that you can actually kind of just go through and be like, okay, this is what I need to work on. And again, it's just, these are little things, but it takes us the extra thing to go the extra mile. And it's what we do with this, right? Again, any team practices. Any team has to go through this. And if this is, guys, our training is only 45 minutes. Just to let you know. Because I know that if you do anything longer than that, people check out. So literally what we have is gratitude, share. Come back, talk about wins and stuff like that. So everybody knows all the programs, which we probably have a test on that. No, we won't, obviously, the ideas. And then we do claim stories or we do MVP. Then we take a 10-minute break, sometimes a 12-minute break for apparent reason. And you sit there like, oh, this is a couple extra minutes, right? And then we have 45 minutes. Then we go to a video and we try to be finished around 11 o'clock. That's it, right? Anything longer, just check out. So we know that this is what it is. So we're taking all this stuff so you can go home and make sure we're implementing this stuff. Because if you want to be a master salesperson, you wanted the chance of a lifetime, it's right here. There's just no way somebody can throw it into your head. It's all in there right now. It just needs to be practiced upon, right? Everybody understands you put the ball in the basket. But to do that, you got to put the ball in the basket, right? All right, so here's the cool thing. What are the 2 most important activities in our business? And appointments. That's it. Well, do we know why this is conversations to book appointments, everybody? Because it's kind of, we just have conversations. You could be talking to your mom every day. It's conversations to book an appointment. The whole point of everything is to get them to an appointment. And then we have the best you give them the best presentation you can ever have. You listen to them, you go that kind of stuff, and you just watch this thing. If you do 10, you multiply. If you want to get to this thing here, that you're talking to as many people as you possibly can, and that this conversion ratio to this is 100%. And that's just based on where you want, the eager want. Don't condemn, don't complain, don't have any conflict, and you'll watch how this thing just opens up. Because you have to want this to be this. You have to go do this to do this. You can't just do this, right? Who just wants one and dones? That's in referrals. They know there's a 40% discount. Do you know how easy that is? Yet we're just like, oh, that sounds like work. I'm like, oh, it's a path of least resistance, really. All right, so let's go through the first one. Here's a really cool part here. So how do we apply these principles to conversations to book appointments? Now, here's 3 things are just going to help in every single which way, and you're going to love them. First thing here is smile. So let's say we're going to a networking event. Let's say you're on an online networking event, just smiling and being pleasant. How many people have been on a networking event and you just see people just sour face, right? Or on a Zoom, you're just like, you should turn your camera off, right?
Right.
Smile and having that present personality. I always see Janelle. She's always pleasant, smiling, watching the training, engaged, right? You don't have to fake it if you're actually engaged. It's 45 minutes. Do you know what I mean? It weirds me out. You have a 10-minute spot to go to the washroom. 10 minutes, right? And 45 minutes, you just be engaged for 45 minutes. That's just how your life is, because how you do anything is how you do everything. If you can't be engaged for 45 minutes, your marriage is in the dumps. I'm sure, but that's a little one for me. Anyways, second one. Okay, phone power on top of that, guys. On the phone, making the conversations. You got to be standing up. You got to be having a smile. Know that how you come across on the phone is how the conversation is going to go when you sit down with them. So if you're having fun, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's just a great smile right across the thing. So stand up, have fun, make it serious. It's not a punishment to make phone calls. You can get rich from making phone calls, right? Second thing here is hello. Remember their name and say it often. As many times as you can possibly say their name, and just start getting into that game. If it's the sweetest sound they'll ever hear, why not say it 3 or 4 times? Why not, right? Just hear it. Like, even when you hear your name when we actually do the shares, and that's why I'm amazed when people are not like, I want to hear my name. Because it's the sweetest sound. So it's just, again, that's awesome. Great job, Dan. Let's give Dan, here's a round of applause, right? That's why we have all these different Ginster nicknames, right? And the third one here is be a good listener. When you're on let's say you're on a Zoom, meetup thing, the people that win are the ones that are listening, and then you could just be like, oh, I loved what you just said there, and then you private message them. Now you're just like, hey, I'd love to learn more about what you're doing. Get the phone number. It's because you're listening. You found out exactly what they said. You can't just be like, hey, I loved what you said, and they're like, oh, what did I say? You're like, end meeting, log off, right? So this is the same in person. Just going around listening to people. Everybody knows when you go to a networking event, they're just like, here you go, here you go, here you go. And you're like, what? Has he not seen the training on this? And you go around and you just listen to people, because then you're friends with every single person. So these are amazing tactics to go out there when we're going and just talking to people in a networking event and having some fun with this. So we're going to make sure we practice it right now, because this is the thing to have a conversation to book appointments. How hard is this business when you're not talking to anyone?
Super hard.
There is no business, right? It's almost impossible. Do we get there? Yeah. Because as soon as you take off that, appointments is one thing, but as soon as you start taking this, then it just dies. Because then you're like, oh, I got to call that one person, right? So why don't we have a strategy here? Because we're not knocking, who wants to knock on doors? No, right? Residential, okay. Hey, no excuses, right? 10 appointments, 6 points a week, no problem. But here, some people don't want to do that. So our job is to do these avatar activities geared to this thing. You could be the person that protects every single person in Edmonton with a dog by showing that one slide and just going like this to every dog park out of the bushes, right? You probably get a dog, right? You probably do all these types of things. That's where you get to have fun. Like, how crazy is this, right? And if you just go there and you start asking them questions about their dog which is probably the greatest conversation in the history of the world for some reason, they'll open up and they'll start talking about it. And it just becomes this unique like bond between people. You do all these things, but if you smile, remember and say their name and listen. So now how do we go to a networking event? And we'll do a practice thing here right around. We need a little script to the end point. So we smile, we're remembering their name, and we're going to be listening to them. And how do we listen to them? We add value to the third degree. You find somebody out, they have a landscaping company. Oh my goodness, you have a landscaping company? That's amazing. What's your favorite part about it? Well, you know what? I get to take the winters off. Oh, I've heard that. Like, what time do you start like taking your year off? Why does that? Because that's important to some people, right? And then you're like this. So how long have you been doing it? How long has your company been around? That's amazing. I was actually thinking of doing real landscape myself. And actually in my line of business, we actually protect a lot, right? Is that actually, have you ever been hurt? Like you can say little things like that, but most of the part is just doing that. And if you're in a networking event, you're just asking for their information. So add value to the third degree opens them up. And then you don't want to be sitting there with one person at a networking event, correct? Because then you just wasted your entire time. You might think you're doing great, but the idea is just to get their phone number and then you can call them and book the appointment. These are crazy strategies, but they're happening right now, live. Well, so this is the thing to how you want to close it out. Well, John, using their name, this has been great, right? I love talking to people like you. Can I get your business card? So you're sitting there talking to them, you've asked them a bunch of questions, right? Value of the third degree. You know, this has been fantastic. There's a lot more people to talk to, so we should definitely get around, but I love talking to people just like you. Can I get your business card? Perfect. And you take a screenshot of it and you have like this. I'll give you a call, I don't know, tomorrow or the next day. I'd love to learn more about your business and what you do, talk to you a little bit more what I do and how we can partner and get together. So great to meet you, John. Love meeting like-minded people just like you. See you around here. Then you call them and there's a conversation about a point, but now they're all about them. So that if there's one little sentence, they may not even ask, hey, what do you do? And then you have, you might have your thing, but it's mainly about them. You get their phone number and now you're meeting up together to,
Awesome.
but now they probably told you that what's the worst thing that ever hurt them at their job? Oh, my back is probably the worst. Right in the pocket, right? So this is what we want to go around and talk to people, right? So we want to do an exercise on the Zooms and everything like that. In here, we can actually just go around and we'll actually stand up in the two offices and just go around and just have a quick little conversation. So don't make it dip. So the person that's being asked, be something that's like, yeah, I'm a scientist, never get hurt. Like, like this is the square root of this room is get out of here, right? It's here to like, we're going to just go around the room and just be like, are you a mechanic? Just be something that's kind of like a high risk kind of thing. Be quick and let them ask the 3 questions. But this is the part. It's just to get the phone number so that you can call them tomorrow. And it's just like this, so that when you go to a place like anywhere out there, you could walk away with 10, 15 numbers like Abigail.
Yes.
So if you do that every single time, that means you have 15 people to call. You've already built a relationship up. They're going to want to sit down with you because you've talked about them. This becomes so much more of like a huge, huge success instead of you being like, oh, who do I call? Because you'll never run out if you do this, right? So let's have some fun. Let's just go around the rooms. We'll take 3 minutes here. Just go around to each person, have quick conversations, just to kind of get to the closeout. And then in the breakout rooms, do the same thing. We'll come back in 3 minutes. All right. Give yourselves a huge round of applause, guys. So again, conversation to book appointments, you feel good. Like we can look through all those things, like all those different things. When you go out there, have fun, have the confidence, we have the skill set, and we get to just go out there and share this thing. And this is that script that you just want to have in your head, because again, when we were doing around the room here, the funniest thing, the easiest thing was just to be like this, hey, can I get your business card? That one right there, because even if you're like butchering it, you're like, oh, like, because you're gonna have a conversation. We're not ridiculous. It's kind of weird, right? But you're also you just go, here, can I get your business card? And everything shifts because now it's already about them. I'll give you a call in like a day or so. They're like, because you made it all about them. So they're now calling, but got to say the line that's saying, hey, I'll talk to you a little bit. I'll talk a little bit what I do, but then we can kind of partner up. Like it's just having a great conversation, getting their business card. And if they don't get their business card, get their phone number. Again, so get their phone number, put it into your phone, and you can text them really quickly so that they know the number. But also take a screenshot of that because you might got like 30 names and numbers. Take a screenshot really quickly, and then you can make sure you're calling them because you might like, oh, who's this person, right? You might have 35 Bobs in there, right? Who calls her family Bob nowadays? Anyways, all right. So great job, everyone. So the next little part here to go to is give the person a fine reputation to live up to. So we talked about this. We want to make sure the skill set's going through. So again, giving that person a fine reputation. Hey, you love being on time, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. So I heard from John that you've always been open to listen to new ideas and to make sharp, intelligent decisions. Is that correct?
Nice.
That's a great referral when you're getting a referral one. Hey, I just love talking to like-minded people. He says he's got 4 kids and he says you're open-minded and you want to see, things and you can make quick decisions. Is that correct? And then you're just having fun on the phone. Also, this one could be great at a networking party, right? Hey, I just talked to Rick over here and he said that you're just like, you're in landscape because then you can point, like you could be on the event and be like, hey, so who did you like the best so far that you've talked to? And then John could be like, over that guy, Rick here, he owns a mechanic shop. You're like, oh, fantastic. He's a good guy. Oh man, he's amazing. Hey, I was just talking to John and he just said how amazing you were and how open-minded you are and how you quick decisions and you just like-minded people. So I couldn't wait to get over here to talk to you. So what exactly do you do? How long have you been doing it? You see what I'm saying? You own everything because it's like, this is now our brains are like, I'm here for a reason. I'm not here just to kind of go through the motions every single day. And now again, I understand why, because we went to school through the motions. Now we got to change that because now we want to be successful, right? Or perfect. So we are booked for 7 p.m. Tuesday. And might I add, you seem like a person that always follows through unless something totally crazy happens, like a tornado. Right? Like you're just kind of giving it to them like perfect. So you know what I mean? Like, so you've already booked it with them.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, so perfect again. As we get, for today, I love talking to people like yourself because you just seem like a person that follows through, doesn't cancel or anything like that. That's why, I think we're driving, jiving, pretty good together, right? So other than that, unless it's a tornado or something like that, we're pretty much good to go. Like you're just throwing it in there just a little bit here. And once you get kind of flowing with it, it'll just flow. But to get good at it, we have to start practicing. So let's go for 2 minutes here, just picking these 2 here. We'll come back in 2 minutes. Practice away. All right, welcome back. Turn in, neighbor, give them a high five and say, I love it. Great job, everybody. Fantastic. All right, so the last one here on conversations about book appointments, then we'll be flipping over to on Thursday will be action-packed again, just having a lot of fun. We're going through a lot of the slides. Again, here is ghosting or cancellation. We talked about this before, right? And again, ghosting and cancellation does happen. Now, one thing we can't help with is if you don't want the actual presentation, right? If you're like, oh, please don't call, don't show up. They won't show up. Yeah. Then they won't show up again, and they won't show up again, and they won't show up again, and they won't show up again. You're like, oh, why is this happening? Because it's just a domino effect, right? If you don't want this, it's just like, you just want to be like, I'm talking to this person because now I know this person's got like 5 new friends. If I'm talking to a family that knows 4 people that has 2-3 kids, I know they have families that are close to them with the same thing. It's just as simple as that. Like that's why you get excited about a family discount. So if you know it's 40% here, everybody in their circle is going to be 40% too. Like that's the most exciting thing ever. You see a family with 3 kids, it's like 50%. It's like a walking gold mine. So call and then text. So if somebody does, if you're going to sit down on a Zoom and they don't, call first because that's professional. If you're just texting, again, that's not professional enough. You've got to call first. And if they don't answer, then text, because then it's a courtesy thing, right? But if you're just like, oh, I'm texting, like, hey, I guess you're not wanting to be here. Well, obviously, go figure, right? So, and then text very simply, or if you get them on the phone, just, hey, oh my goodness, I was just on the Zoom right now. Are you just going to say the exact same thing, but you can just text the same thing. Hello, Mike, how are you? I was just on the Zoom waiting for you to log on. Maybe you got the time mixed up. I sometimes get my appointments mixed up due to all this new technology. When would be a good time to reschedule? Let them save face. And we all might be doing this right now, but we might not be saying, I sometimes get my appointments mixed. That's the out. Yeah. You just give them a nice out like this, because you might be saying all this other stuff, but we're not saying, hey, sometimes I mess up too. So they're like, hey, perfect. Because now I don't want to be, because now they have to because they may have just ghosted you, and now they're going to come up with some lie. That's going to involve their kids. And that's some bad stuff, right? That just, karma comes down the thing. So they don't want to even talk about what it is. So they just ghost you. If you give them this, it might not work, but it'll work more times than it not working. Yep. So this will be a lot of fun, guys, to go through. So I believe we're right on time here for today. Right on. So we're going to go to the video. So this one we'll put into the group here so you can have the text message here, just have it in your group. and just you can kind of go through it. Now we're going to go to the video today. Eric Thomas. It's honestly a fantastic one. He does talk about America as this amazing opportunity country. Canada is the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So just think of it. We live in Canada. It's the #1 place to live in the world.
Nice.
Like it's the place to be. Everybody's trying to get to Canada, right? Right across the, I know, I'm just talking, right? So I'm just like right across Canada, everybody's trying to get here and to open up this thing here. So we're here, we have all this done. How can we move forward to the next level? So we'll push play on the video. We'll come back in 10 minutes. We get to go. Let's give that video a huge round of applause. All right, so let's get to the R2A2 to close this thing out. Great job, everyone. So the idea I got was what it means to me. Here's how I'll use it, and my starting date is. Just take a quick minute to do this. All right, welcome back, welcome back. Turn to your neighbor, give them a high five, and say thank you for the R2A2. Fantastic. All right, give yourselves a huge round of applause, guys. We're playing full out, having some fun. And there's a feeling like a shift. The spring is here. We're talking a little bit different. We're walking a little bit different. And we just get to move forward. So let's give Janelle and Maggie a huge round of applause for their amazing claim stories. Again, you could just walk around and just get super actually wealthy by just walking around those claim stories. That's how cool this is. And that's what we're talking about here. And then we talk about how to win friends and influence people. Great job, guys, reading the book together, having some fun and learning a little bit more. But now we really got to focus on conversations to book appointments. And isn't it a lot funner when we're just like, okay, smile, remember people's name, listen, and then here's the book. It just becomes such a beautiful place because now there's nowhere we can't be. Now the world's opening up now. You don't just have to be online. You can be in person, but if you just want to be online, you just jump into groups and stuff like that. It's again, you can't just sit there and be like, somebody's going to call me because I'm smiling. It's like, we got to be like messaging people and just talking, listening to what they're saying and be like, oh, this one, and personally message them and get them online. Like that's some of the secrets of the secrets out there, right? And so constantly moving forward with that. And then from this amazing video today, guys, everybody like the video? Yep. Again, it's inspiring because it's the truth. It's the toughest thing. I heard Ed Milet talk about it, and he said it's the toughest for our generation. He goes, because if you're in this middle class, it's almost taken out of you that because you're okay. You make just enough, or you can just get by. So it's enough that then you compare yourself to like third world countries and go like this. And then you're like, well, at least I'm doing better than that. You know what? I need time for myself, right? When we know that deep down inside, it's 75% done. And now with the trainings that we're doing now, it's like, it's getting even further. Like this is exactly what to say, how to say it, have enthusiasm, all that kind of stuff. All we have to do is go out there and want to go, I can go share this to as many people as possible. The one that shows it the most wins. So have fun and go get it done in 3 to 5 years. And then you get to talk about the story. And that's what people all want to talk about is the story of what happened, what they got to do. They showed up, they got beat up, they got this happened and this happened. All these are part of the stories because then you get to have it. You can't just have all success all the time. It doesn't make any sense, right? So the only reason we don't make it is because we don't want the responsibility of making 100K. Of making $1 million. Because you know how we know that? It's because we don't ask for referrals. If you're really wanting to be successful, why wouldn't you go to referrals? It's just a path of least resistance, right? We don't even ask for it. And then if somebody gets in a claim, we don't even ask them. So we know we just don't want the responsibility. So that's either that one or we're waiting for somebody else to come and save us. And is anybody getting a little bit older now? Over the last couple of years? No one's coming. You know, it's crazy. And it's like, nobody's coming, but deep down inside, we're like waiting to win the lottery and we don't even play it. Right. It's like, oh my goodness, you know, some prince is going to come or some, you know, like some rich woman's going to like, what? It's not going to, oh my goodness. You seem like the perfect pool boy. Like, what? I don't want to be that anyways. Do you know what I mean? But the idea is, it sounds funny and it sounds like this, but it's not going to happen. And we have the greatest shot in the world. We got 75%. It's right here. All we got to do is go out there and talk to people and have some fun at this, and it will be blown away. We had 16 people in field last week. 15 really. That's not many people not getting paid. It's not about, anything other than that means the company's not growing. There's 80 of us. We've got to understand that we cannot keep putting the responsibility on somebody else to save us. It's right here. And this is not a very difficult place to be. The only reason sometimes we don't get it in field is because we just didn't do enough. So it's not up for debate that you do 10 presentations. Why don't you want to do 10 presentations to go win for your family and do all those types of things? And it's easy not to. It's easy to wake up in the morning and be like, not today, next week. This is our shot. And on that group on Friday and Saturday, broke my heart. Literally, I thought you guys were playing a April Fool's joke on me. I literally didn't really think that, but I was like, this would be great. Because nothing happened on Friday. Nothing. And we have to address that because we're winners. We are, like, look at us. We're the top team in the company, but we got to push each other. Everybody's got to post in the group and go out there and encourage and go like this, like, I'm doing this today. We're moving forward because we can't do it alone. We got the best of the best. We've gone through the book, all the training, all the conversations. We got to go, I'm part of this. You got to look at somebody and be like, they can rely on me. And if there's people here, don't look up to people who are not winning. On that divisional starts, you see Debbie, you see Janelle, you see the top. Focus on them. Be like, hey, how are they doing it? That's it. Do you notice that we're always the top? We're always 3 times more than any other district. That divisional star is hurting us because we think that we've made it. No, some of us haven't. 16 people is not enough. If it's 80 people, we got to have 40, 50 people in every other week because the paychecks are good here. We got to go and just go, this is what we do here. I'm not giving up on a chance like this. We can't, because it's not going to come around again. And if you're okay at whatever you're making, that's fine. But you unconsciously are letting everybody around you not be fine. Let them be fine with what they're making. Because if it's okay to keep coming here and not winning and going out there and making this company better, then we've created an absolute downfall of what this is. So you should be coming here being like, that's it, enough's enough. And I want to go out there and share this thing. Because if somebody makes $250 here, if somebody makes $250,000, that inspires other people to go make $250. There was a lady that did 27,000. She did over 160,000 in a quarter. 160,000 in a quarter. And people want to go, oh, what's she doing? What's she doing this fake and this and that? Nope, she's working. She's going out there and be like, you need to get this, you need to get this, you need to get this. This person, they don't even have the slideshow. They don't even have the presentation like that. She's just going out and being like, this is the greatest thing. So if she can do that, she 27,000, that almost beats us last week, the #1 team in the company. That's crazy. So we know that she's going after it. So what if we're all going after it? And this is that place where you just go every single week and it just goes boom, boom. Because who loves when the group's like bam, 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 bam. And you're like, oh my goodness, I can't even write everybody's name. I can just say, hey, great job, everyone. Because that's the thing. That's what you want to do. And that's what we can inspire. So every week that you go out there, you're inspiring somebody to go out there and do it. Every single week you post in that group, it's inspiring. Every time you congratulate somebody, you're inspiring somebody to go do a little bit more. We know it from the book. So let's go out there, guys. Let's show it what this is. And let's just go do something that's never been done before. Let's take this Q2 and just show this company that this is who we are. We've been #1 for the last 2 years. Let's show it again. Let's be who we are because we're District 6 and we're District 6 and we're District 6 and turn your neighbor, give him a high five and say, we got this. Great job, everybody.